Okay, so what you're going to do in this project is use your watercolor paint to explore different mixing with the correct color bias and the opposite color bias. And so right now I'm using the yellow with the green bias and the blue with the green bias to create a vibrant green. And I want you to try both. So I want you to try mixing the opposite bias as well to see the colors you get. So I don't care how you guys do this necessarily. Just make sure that you get a few mixes of the correct color bias and then also get some of the opposite color bias so that you can see what happens when you mix the opposite color bias, meaning like for green, for example, with this blue, this has the violet bias. So if you mix this with your yellow, it's going to give you more of an avocado green. And right now I'm doing like the violet bias with the violet blue, the violet bias red with the violet bias blue. So that's going to give me the most dynamic looking violet. And try to get some of those tertiary colors in there as well, which are like the red violet and the blue violet, the yellow green and the blue green, and just do an experiment. Now what I want you to do is I want you to fill up your page with these strips of paint kind of going across. Okay, so those both have the orange bias, and now I'm going to mix the opposite bias. So I'm going to use the bias with the orange with the blue from the violet, and I'll show you the color that it gets. So now you're going to see it's like an avocado green. And as it dries, it comes back to a purer color so you can see it a little bit better. But I'm going to let you guys watch for a little while, and then I will come back and talk about what your finished painting is going to look like. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to fill your page with these strips of color. Okay, so what I've done is I've let my painting dry completely before I start doing this last part of the lesson. So what you're going to do is you're going to take either a black Sharpie or a white gel pen and come through, and I want you to kind of identify the different colors that you were able to create using your paint. And you can also kind of come in and outline any darker areas, value shifts that you see. And when you're done, it actually will end up looking kind of like a piece of abstract art. So I'm going to let you watch this process for a little while, and then I will show you the final piece. The reason you guys are doing this mostly is just to learn about color mixing, to explore what happens when you mix two primaries to create a secondary or tertiary color. So have fun while you're creating this.